Ford Video Guy Studio in Salina, Kansas, it's McArthur Live with Tim Bartz and Sarah Davis. For all the information on ordering and production, Ford news, recalls, debunking all the fake news on social media, and whatever's on their mind, here's your hosts, Tim and Sarah. Welcome in, everybody. It's episode 175.
175. Ooh, that's sometimes a good, nice number.
Yeah, sometimes I don't always remember them, but this one, Jeff told me today, so I was like, oh, okay, 175. But yeah, there we go. So I'm going to mute this real quick. All right. So we are live. Hopefully you guys have it's been a couple weeks since we did a live stream. I thought it might be longer, but we'll get into that just a little bit. But yeah, so pretty cool. A couple weeks. And I would tell you, Ford really did not go back to work. Some of them didn't go back to work until yesterday. But I think the 2nd is when most of them did, because some of them had to, because we had to report numbers to Ford and everything, so they want to know that. So, and actually, this is kind of weird. So, well, first let's talk about the weekend first, and then we'll talk about why I shouldn't be here, but I am. So, weekend. How was this weekend, Sarah? What did you do?
It's cold.
So, if you guys haven't been watching the news, and then Jack even said that it was on. Here, let me move this over here. That we were on national news. Did you know that?
No.
And they said Fox or something. He saw it. That we made national news. It showed Salina, Kansas.
Wow.
And we did get a foot of snow. So let's backtrack a little bit. Saturday, of course, like I didn't realize it was going to snow so much, and everybody's like, "Yeah, there's a big storm coming through." And
oh, sorry. I was on track from last night.
We're gonna they're getting a lot ready and everything else. I'm like, is it going to really be that bad? Because around here, it's like, okay, so we get a little snow. I mean, whatever. But no, this one was supposed to be bad. So Saturday it was rain all day, and then it all froze on the roads. I mean, like freezing. I mean, we had thick ice all over the roads on Saturday. Very hard to get around. If you guys saw any of the stuff about the Midwest online, that was
we actually drove to the store about 2 o'clock after our youngest napped.
That was about when it started to get freezing.
Yes. So I think maybe it was noon, but we headed out. And then by the time we were headed back, it was starting to freeze up to the point where we were like, yeah, let's get off the roads. Mm-hmm. But we needed ice cream. We needed chocolate ice cream.
Well, you need to make sure you got food, because there were some, we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, so it was like freezing rain all day. And then it got really bad. Even like we had to go. So my daughter works at a hotel 4 to 12. So I had to go pick her up at midnight, 4 or 5 nights a week. And she doesn't drive anyway. But the youngest daughter. Anyway, so it was when we got to pick her up, it was a question. They're like, well, do you want me to stay? Because they can book them a room and they can stay. I'm like, well, then I got to go get you in the morning. It's like, no, that's all right. We'll make it there. And it was, we live on a hill. And so there's one that's a really long hill, and it was ice. So we started at the top at 0 miles an hour. And we just held the brake all the way down. And a couple of times we slid and so had to let off the brake to straighten ourselves back up. But then at the bottom, there was one spot at the bottom, and the tire hit there just at the right time so we could turn. But and then we didn't think we'd get up that hill, so we went a different way to get up there. But anyway, so freezing rain, and then it turned to snow in the evening, or the next day.
Yeah,
right?
The next morning.
12 inches of snow we got.
We had snow when we woke up at 8.
Yes, we did. It started snowing like after midnight. Yeah, we got 12 inches of snow
in one day.
Foot of snow between overnight, within 12 hours.
Yes, within 12 hours, because it stopped in time for us to start clearing the driveway.
Yeah, well, I started at 4. I cleared my driveway at 4 because I was supposed to go to CES and Consumer Electronic Show in Las Vegas. We were supposed to fly out Sunday, and Saturday all the flights out of Kansas, that's Kansas where we were going to fly out of, they were booked. I was like, I don't know if this is going to happen. And then on Sunday, so they got up that morning, they'd canceled the flights. I'm like, okay, I got my full refund back and everything. And I'm like, well, let's just book for the next day because around here usually snows one day, they clear it, and by mid morning you're ready. The highways are good to go. So I said, oh, surely we'll do an afternoon flight. We'll be good. And I got up that morning, and sure enough, the 7 a.m. flights went out. I said, hey, they're going out because I switched it to Wichita. I'm like, they're going out, so let's. Oh, roads are closed. And I'm like, okay, so the last second we can probably to get there on time, even if we're going normal speeds, it's 10 a.m. and the roads are still closed at 10 a.m. I think they're closed all day. So so we nixed that. So that's why we're here.
So Kansas actually sent out an alert to phones. Yeah. What is that? An extreme weather.
Yeah.
State of emergency. They put out a state of emergency saying everyone must stay in their homes. All roads are closed. Do not leave your house.
Don't go on the highway. Because they said, because if you do go off the road, they will not be able to get you that day. They will not be able to save you and recover you that day. That is crazy.
They had too many broken down equipments. They had too many stuck.
In fact, they were plowing. Usually they'll plow most of the day, but I said because of the blowing winds, it was almost like blizzard, that they just stopped. They had all their workers go home for the evening and start back up at 5 a.m. I'm like, okay.
And now the schools are closed. They were supposed to start back at school on Tuesday. They are closed through tomorrow at least. Yep. And that's because that there's a sheet of ice underneath all that snow. And so they can't clear it and then have ice that won't melt because the salt won't melt it at this temperature. So they can't have that.
So, yep. All right. I like that because that's just that's fake news. Anyway, so that's why we're here. And so we didn't go to CES, but because we did get media passes, there are a couple of the sessions they're recording them, they're live streaming them, and then I'm able to watch them. So I watched one last night on EV by Cox Automotive, and actually was pretty educational, pretty interesting. Yeah. So might still do some videos on that, but yeah, there you go. So anyway, got a voucher on the flight because the flight wasn't canceled. We just couldn't get there. I couldn't get a refund.
Yeah. So bread and milk at one store was sold out, but then we tried. That's why we were out so long, was because we went to one store and they were sold out of everything. So we went to another store and they had everything stocked, fully stocked. We needed bread, eggs, and milk.
Yep. Anyway, so there's what we've been doing, but because of that, actually I have something to show them. I think. Here, let me upload it first. But because of that,
Timothy Clemens is in New York, upstate New York. They got 5 feet of snow, and Tim's haven't passed 20 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, but like he said, this isn't usual for us. Usually we
don't get a foot. Usually
they clear it in less than a day, and we're good. This was just something different that Kansas doesn't experience very often, so it threw us into a state of emergency.
Yeah. And ours, and that's like a lot of times you'll see East Coast, you'll see the snow, but when we had like almost 24 hours of rain prior to that, it's the ice underneath the snow.
Yeah,
that's
because we can handle snow. Snow's no problem for us. It's that ice. It's really getting to people.
Snow we can handle, and I'll show you how we handled snow. But ice underneath the snow is what is where sometimes in Kansas we get bit a little bit. So anyway, in fact, we had fun with the Bronco because we did get it on the ice, but we also on Sunday, was Sunday the day? Yeah, Sunday is the day it snowed. We were out, we were having some fun in the Bronco. Of course, again, my daughter had to be at work at 4 and pick it up at midnight. So yeah, we ended up taking her to work at 4 and then going by and picking Jeff up. We were going to just drop some food off to him. And another person that Barb knows off of Facebook that said that they did not get a chance to get to the grocery store for like meals. They had snack stuff, but not meals. So we took some stuff to them as well out of our kitchen because because the grocery stores I think were closed on Sunday.
They were, anyway. And a lot of them didn't open till later on Monday either.
Yeah. And then Jeff's friend was going to walk home from the hospital because he had work. He got there with an Uber that day, which he was surprised that he got off at like 10 p.m. versus 7. No, I guess it was 8 o'clock when we went. And so this actually is a drive once I dropped him off of our street, which was thick snow, and they did not plow. Again, we live on a hill, and they had not plowed. They just did the main roads. So here's I'm going to actually play this. So here's a clip of us, or my Bronco, getting back in our little neighborhood here. So there is no audio to this. So I don't know if you guys can hear us or not, but yeah, there's a little hill that kind of goes up and around. And earlier that night, I actually got stuck on that bottom of that area. But because of the first time going up, I didn't really get stuck. I just got paused because I was just going to go and then back up a little bit and then just go a little bit faster. And I just learned to go. I just needed to hit that hill just going a little bit faster instead of slow and letting the tires go because it was so thick and everything. But in fact, those tracks are mine from earlier. And there's another 4-wheel drive that went through that, but not too many people were out on our neck of the woods.
So you're coming up on the turn that one of the ladies that works here, her mom lives over in that area. She refuses to go over there when it's like this because she was coming down around that corner and got stuck on top of a rock.
Yeah. I don't know if they can hear our audio or not over this, but there's no audio running, so I assume so. But
yeah. Man, you're still not at that turn.
No.
I always think that is a lot longer than I always think it is.
Yep.
I'm always like, oh, that's a quick little jog over. No, it's not.
There's the turn coming up, but yeah, it was a lot of fun with that. But and usually, like earlier, like we came down this when it was ice, and I actually got turned around because it was so slick. But yeah, there you go. And then you can see we're getting up there. But
yeah, that turn, you saw a rock over there. She actually got stuck up on one of those rocks.
Oh, yeah.
And her husband had to go over there with a jackhammer because he does lots of stuff for us here. So he knows how to use a jackhammer. But he went up there and he had to jackhammer the rock down so she could get off of it.
Yeah. So there's that. I don't know if you guys can hear us talking while that video was going or not, but there you go. Mr. Dr. Diesel, is this starting 8 p.m.? Well, Eastern at 7 p.m. our time. So yeah, I'd say we're live. Last 14 minutes. Hopefully you can see us. But yeah, anyway, so we had a lot of fun with the Bronco last couple of days. Yeah. So anyway, Niles is in the house. That's actually pretty good timing because we do need to talk about. If we can find it.
What's in Tim's Cup?
What's in Tim's Cup? The segment that was started by Niles.
Brought to you by Niles Gridley.
Brought to you by Niles Gridley. So yeah, what's in Tim's? A beautiful cup with all my great stickers that the Snips made for me, right? And has all my fun Sasquatch stickers on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this in here. Like a grandpa, only cooler. Papa. Anyway, so that's fun. And well, you know what? We can also talk about last night because you did something special last night too.
I was on All Terrain Nation last night. They asked me Sunday. Of course, we hadn't seen each other since Friday until today, which is unusual for us because my kids are usually over there. But they asked me Sunday night, hey, do you want to come join us Monday? And I said, sounds great. And then they posted the thumbnail and you're like, what's this? Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm on there tonight.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
My little boy joined me and
yeah, he was in there.
He has a personality.
He is. They were talking and he got in there and they said something and he said correct. That was funny. It was spot on too.
It was perfect with the moment.
Anyway, so that was a lot of fun. But and the reason she was on All Terrain Nation was to show off her new podcast, which we're going to talk about later and have a couple clips from it. I don't want to play the whole podcast, which originally I was going to when I thought I was going to be in Vegas right now. In fact, right now I was hoping I was going to be at the Sphere. Delta was doing a special presentation at the Sphere, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be fun. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. But it does look like I'm going to NADA in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, January, actually, my birthday.
Awesome.
So, probably either flying up the day before my birthday or on my birthday.
Yeah. I was gonna ask.
That might be the first birthday I don't celebrate with my family.
I was gonna ask Ashley about the women's conference.
Yeah. Gotta figure out when that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, so her new podcast, her first episode was out last Thursday, and so we're gonna play a couple clips from that tonight later on what's on our mind and everything. New for this week though, starting this week, are the scheduling information video goes live at 6 p.m. on Tuesday nights as its own video. We will not play it and will not go over it in this, but I'll answer any questions about scheduling during that segment time. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. But anyway, but don't forget, hopefully most of you are subscribed and hit that bell notification and everything else like that. Hit the like button. Don't forget also about our membership. If you want to become a member, you can do that as well.
It's right there by that subscribe button. You just hit join. I still need to re-record that video.
Yep, you could do that.
Ooh.
And if you're an iPhone user,
you have to do things differently. You have to go up and request desktop browser. And at that point, you should be able to see it.
Yeah. So, and then you can see all of our content for members under the membership. You also get notifications just like any other videos when they go live. And we have fun with that because we do. We have it scheduled. We have moved it now Thursday night. We do a member lot walk. So that video will go live around 6 p.m. And then we do at 4 p.m. on Fridays, we do a live stream. And we might talk about things I talked about on the lot walk. So a couple things that I like to do. It's just fun. And membership, it really isn't for making money for us. It's really about the community. That's what it's about. So if you want to learn more about about us and that kind of thing, then definitely check that out. So,
yeah.
All right. We mail call. Should we talk about that stuff?
Yeah.
We got, who's this from again?
Michael Gastinger.
Michael Gastinger sent us these cool little mugs. Thank you very much.
He doesn't have his Maverick yet, but he took the version off of Ford's website, added a picture, a rendering of himself.
Yeah.
And made it look like he's driving it and added it to the Pennsylvania map. Yeah.
So we got stickers and all kinds of different formats, holographic and everything and all that. So, which we're going to open up more stickers and stuff on Broncos.
He picked up his Maverick today.
Oh, cool. Here, I can't see the comments. Oh, Mike 52G. See, I see YouTube names and I don't know last names always. So thank you for this. This is pretty cool. And glad you did pick up yours. And I was thinking that I saw a comment on one of the videos that he said he was picking his up so soon. So pretty cool. Yeah, those are pretty nice. And a magnet too.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yeah. Thank you. And let's see. Yeah. And I'd say the best thing on those when you're getting stickers is Sticker Mule, but wait for deals. So if you get on there like notification stuff, they're always doing deals. So wait, get a good deal. And they always have like 50 stickers for like $20 and different offers like that. And that's a really good way of doing that. And then see this in here, they sent it to both of us at the same time. Right?
Yes. I took mine and put them away.
Because they even put 210 on these. So
yes.
So we knew whose was whose. And this one's cool. I'm gonna like this. It's a can opener. Bottle opener. This would be cool. Because I had a Bronco one and it was in that drawer and it's disappeared. I think your sister has it downstairs. Anyway, but then also sent their patch. It's pretty cool. I feel like I've had theirs.
Yes. But she didn't have patches at the time.
Are you so I have the sticker but not the patch?
That's correct.
But this is a different sticker than I had.
Yes. I feel like it's been forever since I picked these up. Okay. Yep, she added a green background to it.
There we go. Got the patch now to go with it.
Let's get the patch up. Have you taken pictures?
No, I haven't. So we'll do that later. We'll put them up there later. Oh, and then the chips. Did you get 2?
I got 2, yes.
Okay. All right. Anyway, pretty cool. Cool stuff.
I am at 2 poker chips, 1 bottle opener, 2 keychains, 1 water bottle.
It's not Christmas. A partridge in a pear tree.
2 cozies.
It's funny. All right, who else we got? We got here. This one came today. Jenna. We get ours out for Jenna from Pennsylvania.
Hers is going out tomorrow.
Okay, we had a bunch of people today.
There were 2 people that messaged before Christmas, and I did not get to them before Christmas. I just felt like it was a rush and a whirlwind, and
right.
That's on the bottom of the list to do.
Wait a minute, is this? This isn't the same Jenna from Philadelphia. This isn't Jenna. This is Jenna from Philadelphia, but not the Jenna from Philadelphia. I don't think.
That's Petunia.
Yeah, because Jenna from Philadelphia is a Area 51 Bronco Sport. So this is a Bronco Sport.
It's Petunia the Bronco.
Yes.
Bronco Sport.
There you go. They're patched. That's pretty cool. I like getting Bronco Sport ones too. Looking pretty cool. And the sticker as well. And then a little Northern Lights, whatever. Thanks for the swap. Jenna and Petunia.
Yes.
There we go. We got that one. What else we got here? Wendy from California.
You need to start saying, hey, can my daughter and I swap with you? And we'll just send them both of ours at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, we should do it. That's some nice scent. All kinds of patches.
You know what I gotta do now?
I do like that. You know.
Nana Wendy.
This is pretty cool. So Wendy from California. Cool. And let's see what's their Bronco name. They are Forbes 2804. It says Nana Wendy. So I'm not sure what they're on Instagram, but we'll tag them.
You want to bet she's a Nana?
Probably.
And a Bronco?
I wonder if the Bronco has the U.S. flag on the side. That looks pretty cool. I do like the state ones. So put that one up there with the other state one. I'll still put that one over there with the Broncos. And then I like this. It says emotional support vehicle. Because that's what it is.
Yes.
And that's definitely what it was for us this week. Because there's a couple times your mom was doing a lot of work to catch
she was like, do you need anything? You have packages at my house. Do you need those? I'm not trying to look for ways to get out of the house, but do you need things?
And drive the Bronco. Because the first day I was doing the driving everywhere. She just was riding along. So then the other day I was like, well, I'm going to go help the neighbor. I'm going to plow their driveway with the snowblower. And go do that. She goes, I'll take Emily to work and I'll go to your mom's and everything. And then she came back after going to your grandma's and said, this is fun.
I want to drive it.
Brian called me. He saw that we got a foot of snow and he goes, how's it going? I said, pretty good. He goes, are you enjoying the snow? I saw you got a lot of snow. And I'm like, yes, we are. I said, I will never not. There will always be a Bronco in my driveway. I
never liked driving in the snow with my Transit Connect. I always felt like I was just gonna flop right over. It's not bad in the C-Max. There's times where I lose traction because I'm front wheel drive.
You just have low clearance.
Yes, I have low clearance, and then I have front wheel drive. So of course, when the back loses grip, you start to drift. But I'm pretty good at staying in control of that and knowing I'm going to drift in those turns.
Yeah.
So I know how to plan for it and get my front end correct.
Yeah.
I've got it down.
Well, like Jeff, he's got a mach-e. And so I guess a lot of his friends are like, well, I heard that EVs, you can't get out in the snow and anything. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to come. I'll come to your house. So I said, we can come get you. And he's, no, I want to prove to people that you can get out in an EV. He's got an all-wheel drive Mach-E. So it's not like he was having any issues. And he didn't. I mean, it's all about clearance on all-wheel drive vehicles. All-wheel drive vehicles can get places they can get traction. It's just in those places where it's deeper snow. It's all about clearance, right? And so anyway, this in here is from Tanya and Stella from Kentucky.
I have there too.
And their sticker and their I like the state ones.
Yep.
I already have Kentucky, but that's all right. I'll take two.
Cheetah print.
Oh,
and then she did a iron on.
Oh, that's cool.
Or sew on.
I think of the sew on because
Yeah.
this is the size your mom wants. So she wants one of our patches. She goes, we have patches of our Bronco. I said, yes, we do. And so I gave it to her. She goes, it might be too big. She's putting different ones on her hat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And she wanted a Bronco. And
Yeah.
so it might be a little too big. Magnet as well. Cool stuff. And some extra stickers.
Jeff was telling me the day I need to take my C-Max and make an off-roading C-Max. Add a lift, add some 35s.
Well, Melissa was talking in your interview about the Subaru that they went around with that got first place at, and that one there was modified.
Yes.
So that Subaru was modified.
Yep.
But anyway. All right, that's the last one I have, and I think by next time next week we should get a couple more. So, all right. So
I told Jeff all I need is some recovery boards.
Yeah.
I know how to drive. It's just in case someone pushes me into the wrong area. Because again, I have very low clearance, so I need a shovel. Don't they have like foldable shovels?
Yeah. I
need a foldable shovel and I need foldable traction boards that I can put in the back of my C-Max, and then I'm good.
Yeah. So I really felt like I should have been helping people. Every time we were out about, we had a timeline. We had to get Emily to work by 4 and all that, but we would see people stuck and be like, man, I could help those people. I got a winch. I got traction boards. I should be helping these people out. But anyway, yeah. So what's in what's in your cauldron over there?
My cauldron.
So I can talk between us.
My cauldron has Red Bull.
Red Bull.
I went off of the caffeine. I actually like drinking it on Tuesday nights, so I don't have any caffeine the rest of the week. I have 1 Red Bull a week. No coffee, nothing like that. I have 1 coffee or 1 Red Bull, and then I do my dishes and housework and get things done after the live stream. So I stay up to like 11 midnight and get things done around the house while everyone's asleep. I get my me time.
So I have a Monster coffee drink, whatever they call it. What do they call them?
Monster coffee. Someone said hot
Java
cocoa.
Monster is what I got. The Loca Mocha.
Loca Mocha.
So there we go. All right, so there's that. What else is next? I don't have my notes in front of me. All right. And we're not doing scheduling, but we're gonna do notes. So you have a good dealer moment?
Ooh, I haven't pulled one up yet.
Hold on, let me see what's our next.
In fact, I was headed to our channel over here so that I can comment as myself, because I like to do that.
All right. Member intros. And last thing that mentioned earlier about members is, just off my game, is that we do member shout outs for you on the live streams too. So
we have not been doing this for what, two weeks?
Yeah. And I usually have my notes in front of me now.
Yes.
I'm gonna try without it. Wing it.
Am I doing the good dealer?
Well, the member
I have
shout
it.
outs. Here, I can get to the member shout outs.
Oh, member shout outs first. I can do that.
Yep. Go for it.
Okay. We're going to start off with Ridgeview, our wonderful moderator. He has actually been our longest member. Who's your first member? Was it he?
Yep.
So he keeps everything's going in our chat for us. We have Mike M, which he actually has a super chat down below. Mike M, 37 months. I did see on TV about Salina, and I saw your Instagram post about the snow.
Some people call it Snowmageddon.
Yeah.
They actually did call it Winter Storm Blair. Because I was like, well, they said something about the flights about winter. What's a Blair? And she says that's the name of the winter storm. Like they do with hurricanes. I said, oh, we don't see that. We get tornadoes and they don't name them.
No, because those pop up so sporadically and quickly and then die out so quickly.
I was like,
no.
I'm like, we've never had a winter storm named and come through Kansas before.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go. Winter Storm Blair.
Ronald Smith is here. A cold day in North Illinois. We have Douglas.
There's Winter Storm Blair right there.
No kidding. We got Bucko. A good cold evening to everyone. Brian from windy Southern California. Jack says, short sleeves and short pants. Weather are you? We are having.
Oh hush! That was the other thing I was like looking forward to about Vegas was it was 60 degrees. I was like, yeah, I'll leave. It was going to be 20 here every day, high of 20 around here. I think it was 0 degrees this morning, so I was like, I want to go to Vegas and get to the 60-degree weather this week while it's cold here.
We have our Quib. Good 2025 to all. Donald Rash, you were good on All Train Nation last night. Thank you.
She was.
Alan, hello, Tim and Sarah. Who's playing in the snow? My boys actually went and made snow angels. And then the youngest was putting his hands in the snow, like at full height, put his hands in the snow, and then it didn't hold his weight, and he fell forward, and it was deep enough that it hit over his head. I had to rescue him. Paul says, I made it.
We thought your Maverick showed up today. We got a truckload of Mavericks, and I was like, I bet Paul's is on that, and it's supposed to show up, and it wasn't.
We actually have 3 member Mavericks in Kansas City right now.
There we go.
Alan's in the 50s today. Over there.
I wouldn't mind that too.
Clarence says that he wants to take the vinyls off the B pillar of his first edition. I would suggest going watching the video because I saw you had a couple of questions on that.
Well, did you see what my short that I did?
No.
That the XLs come without the pillar? The vinyl? You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, all the XLs. Like I was out there and I'm like, well, hold on. This XL doesn't have the vinyl.
Pillar.
The vinyl on the pillars. Just I did a short about it. So
yeah.
I think all the XLs are coming without it. So all the ones we pictured, if you look on our website, you don't. Okay, I was going to say this for the Is It True, but I think I might have another Is It True. Yeah, I do. So we'll pull up the website and show this. You talked to a couple more members.
Okay.
And we'll pull that up.
Anyways, we didn't take anything off the Maverick to take those off, right? We just took the vinyl off.
Yes, helps if you just put a hairdryer on it, something to heat it up a little. Off a lot easier,
especially with it being colder now. You did that in the summer.
Yes, I did that when like the sun was hitting one side better than the other, and so one side came off a lot better than the other.
So just warm it up a bit. You should be good. Rushman, hope everyone's safe in spite of treacherous weather. Timothy, a whole foot of snow, and he's the one that had 5 feet. We haven't passed 20 degrees. We haven't surpassed that yet. How do you do to everyone from the bare ground coast of Maine so far from mid coast Maine? Donald is here. So New Year. What's in Tibbs' cup?
We didn't go over that.
Let's see. We have Niles here. He is our other moderator and honorary member. He keeps everything rowdy for us. Let's see. We have Voles. I met a lady driving her first Bronco yesterday. She was stoked at how her wild track handles winter weather. And Niles says that his wife's Bronco Sport handled the country roads out there. Which is good.
I mean, he lives out there where when they get some rain, they can't come to town. I mean, he's got like serious country roads.
I think the reason that they were able to get out is because he had a neighbor that had like a big box to scoop snow out, came by and plowed for them. He was showing me the video.
Should have let me know. I would have come driving the Bronco out there, see if we can get it stuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are not a lot of trees for a long ways, so you need something to be able to winch out, but got traction boards.
Very true. All right. Ford Enthusiast says Subarus are like tinks in the snow. Tim, I will answer that question here in a little bit. Oh, yep. Rich U says that Jack Evans and him are both at 40 months. Ooh, Rich U, he might surpass you one of these months.
Well, he's like Jack was right after him.
Right. So Jack, it was a month behind him. At one point, he was 2 months behind him. But because of how the subscription is renewing, sometimes
If the credit card
Ridgeview's
expires, yeah.
right. So like Jack will gain on him one day at a time. And then we have Mabsim, Happy New Year. And there's been 32 comments since I started looking at these. Guys are tatty.
I was kind of talking about that. You guys keep it going. That's for sure.
Where's our checklist? Did you do the membership? We're doing it now. Shout outs.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Oh, see, Niles' wife is a native Kansan, while he is a Texan, so she's better at this.
See, that takes a real man to admit that. Yeah. So here, let me see if I can pull this up. Hey, and I didn't. I was like Barb. She wanted to go out and go ahead.
Wow.
I was like, you're off-road certified. So I've said that there's only 4 people that can drive my Bronco. Well, 4 people around here, but other people can. It depends on situation. But 4 main people around here that are allowed to drive my Bronco: me, Barb, you, and Jeff. They're all Bronco off-rodeo certified. If you've gone through Bronco off-rodeo, then you can drive the Bronco. If you have not, just sit in the back seat and just watch.
I asked Mom if I could borrow the Bronco. I got no.
So here is, so here are the Mavericks we have on our website, and you'll see the XLs right here. Scroll down. So you see that the pillars right there. See, there's no vinyl on them. So all XLs, they don't have it. They didn't put it on. But if you go back and check out the lariats that we have in stock, so we have, these are our XLs, and then here's some lariats. You'll see the lariats though. They have the pillars. They have the vinyl on the pillars. So XLs aren't being shipped with the vinyl.
Okay. So Niles says, "Come get stuck. I'll get the F-150 out there." I mean, he still has more area that has snow. You can still try and go get stuck.
That's true.
Just make sure you get footage of it.
Right. Anyway, so there you go. There's that. So fun stuff there. But
there's fires in California.
Yeah, I'd rather have snow. All right. All right. Let's see what else. Yeah. Do you have shout out? So here, I mean, we're gonna do an Is It True later, so we'll just go ahead and answer this right now. Okay. This here is, I don't know what video you watched. It said, did Tim probably get to see the pictures, the new Ford Maverick van that Ford showed all Ford dealers? I think that's a myth, because I didn't get to go to last dealer meeting, but everything they showed, I've already seen from the embargoed events. They're not making a Ford Maverick van. So that's, if you saw it on a YouTube channel, yeah, it's clickbait. So sorry to tell you that, but
yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. So I got another Is It True for later. Hopefully I don't forget. So we'll talk about job 2s, whether job 2s are actually showing up at dealers. So there's some people saying they are, and I'm going to show you why I don't believe they are, and why they think though that they are.
Right.
So anyway, so there's that.
I mean, I would love for Ford to come back with a van. Because last night they asked me that question: would you buy anything but a Ford? What could sway me from a Ford? Really, honestly, nothing at this point. I mean, unless I get a van, but at this point, I don't need a van. I have only 2 kids. My C-Max does great, and it has a lot better of a backup camera than anything else. I will stay in my Ford as long as I can. And when I'm done, I'll probably buy another Ford. But I do wish that they had a van, just for that cargo room. Because the Expeditions are big and they're nice, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
And then you have the Explorer, and I do not like the Explorer. I hate the Explorer. I don't hate on anything. I don't like the Explorer. I don't like the pillars and how bulky they are. The Explorer is just not for me. Same with the Escape. Just not for me. So at this point, I think the only thing that's left is a Mach-E.
I don't know.
Or a Maverick. But I think I'll stick with my C-Max until it dies. Which someone asked me. They said, hey, what about the batteries in the Mavericks? Are we worried that they're going to go kaput, or I'm going to have to replace it after, so long? And I said, no, they should be good for a long time. Are you planning to buy or lease? And he said, buy. I was like, okay. He's like, what do you drive? I said, 2017 C-Max. And I just realized I'm driving a 7-year-old hybrid without a feeling that it's going to break down on me or that the battery's going bad. My 7-year-old hybrid is doing just fine. It's doing great. So I don't think we're going to have a problem with the batteries unless the science in it changed that much.
Okay, so here's the thing. I mean, we're not into the other stuff, but just going to mention this, that one of the sessions that I watched on EV, they were talking about Cox Automotive and how they own Auto Trader, and that it's educating people that getting a used EV is actually a great way to go. So if you're looking at it, new EVs sometimes are initially kind of expensive, or they might have a good lease if you're lucky. But when you're looking at a used one, you usually can get a $4,000 tax credit on something that's cheaper. And here's the deal: there's not a lot of things going wrong with it. When you think about getting a used vehicle, you really worry about how well did that previous owner take care of it? Did they do the oil changes? How the tires look? Hey, have you checked this over? What is this going to break down or that going to break down? And what about the motor? And you got all these other components that go into it. On an EV, you got a battery, you got motors, maybe you got to worry about tires, but brakes. I mean, there's less parts to worry about and moving parts, that where actually EVs, you don't have to worry on a used one how long it's going to last. It'll probably last pretty long, and you don't have all those worries, and you're almost in a better situation buying a used EV than you would a used ICE vehicle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something that a lot of people don't think about, and they just need to be educated on a little bit. So, yeah. Anyway.
But it just occurred to me that I'm driving a 7-year-old hybrid that's doing well.
Yep. All right.
I didn't think it was that old.
There you go. Alrighty. So,
right.
Good dealer?
I think I got one. Let me just scroll for a second.
Hopefully, you haven't run out of good dealers out there. Although we do cover that's when you think about that, we've been doing good dealers for a long time now. When you think about, we've done every week, other than the couple of weeks we went and do a live stream, but about every week we cover a good dealer. And we've done this 175 episodes, probably at least 100 of those. There's at least 100 good dealers out there.
I mean, yeah. There might be some repeats in there.
We're trying to find them all.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all being good.
Right.
All right. So we have Claiborne Ford in Kent, Ohio. Jennifer was the sales associate. No dealer markup, excellent sale and service experience. That's it.
There you go.
Claiborne Ford
in Ohio. All right. So, since we're going to do these differently, we still can pull the slide up, because what we want to do is, hopefully, if you guys were interested in the scheduling video, that you guys had a chance to watch that video, and we'll do Q&A on scheduling. I don't know if we have any, but let's throw this up. And now would be a great time. If you have any questions about scheduling, then you can pop those in there and talk about those. While we're waiting for those to kind of pop up, there are a couple things that kind of as a reminder to that, because I did go over not only scheduling for this week. And so I guess I can do it. I won't run through all the notes and everything, but basically the vehicle model lines that are not scheduled this week, are as follows. Not scheduling is the Mustang, Escape, Bronco, Mach-E, Expedition, Ranger. They are not scheduling this week. So Bronco Sport, Explorer, Maverick, Super Duty, F-150, and Transit is scheduling, and it's all cleanup scheduling, and which means dealer has an open allocation available. They want to fulfill those for those dealers. So a lot of times, if they don't have a retail order, then they'll make sure they get a stock order put in there. And if the dealer doesn't, then they'll push it in there of what they know they can build for them. But the notes really, especially during the cleanup scheduling, is basically what here. Stay away from these. You get an order that doesn't have these issues, then you can get one. Like on Maverick, the only very limited to exhaust availability for this week is XL and trimmer. So that means that they have, availability to schedule Lobos for retail order, and they have availability to schedule Lariats and XLTs. So if as a dealer, if you have a stock XLT or Lariat, then you can get it scheduled. And when I say that, because unless you're somebody that had a retail customer that ordered one the last couple of weeks, probably the retails got scheduled already at your dealership. But again, that's for dealers that still have allocations available. So anyway. But then also in that video, I covered what information is going to start happening next week when it comes to scheduling for March production dates on those. And about all the models are scheduling for the full month. Escape plugin is not scheduling for the month of March production dates. And the Escape plant will actually be down for 1 week, the last week of March. And that's usually when I say they're down, usually they're going through maintenance when they do that. Now, at the Bronco plant, Michigan Assembly Plant for Bronco and Ranger, they're going to be down for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of March. So the week of March 3rd and the week of March 10th. So they'll only be scheduling for 2 weeks. And then see what else. And also on Bronco, and actually I think it is on Ranger, but they didn't put it in here. The 2.3 motors is a slow ramp up. So because of that, it says launch curve on the 2.3 available is fleet only, it sounds like, for those. But and so because of that, you're going to be looking for 2.7s, which I mean, what models now I can't remember what trim levels get 2.7. Badlands, the Strop Broncos, the Power Schedule Raptors, right, and that kind of stuff. So anyway, so that's that on that information I went over today, as well as I talked about some of the new things, because this next month will be for startup for Mustang Job 2 scheduling, and with the new color, that intense lime yellow paint. Oh, I had images of that. I was going to pull that up. What did I do with those? Where did I save those to? Wait, I think I remember. See if I can pull these up. Right here. I think I did some screenshots of these. So, did I not put it up? It's kind of small. Make it bigger. So that actually, I just screenshotted a shot from Ford, but there's that intense lime paint color that is new. Also, the clear matte clear film is now available on the convertibles. It was previously only available on the coupe. So the matte film is like a protective film all the way around it, but it's a matte wrap basically. So it just, whatever color it is, you just put that clear wrap, but it's a matte finish. So, which has kind of been the thing when we went to auto shows the last couple of years. Also, a new optional bronze wheel for the Dark Horse. We haven't had a bronze wheel on the Dark Horse for a while, or at all. And also, they said on starting a Job 2, all Mustangs will be built with the Night Pony headlamp. So the headlamp is going to be the black bezeled headlamp on all of the Mustangs for Job 2. So, and also on the little notes they gave to dealers was they showed off some packages, and they just reminded dealers about the different trim levels and the new packages for the Bronco, which we've covered those in this, so I won't go into that. But one of them is they also mentioned showed off the new, and then I just closed this. Where's that picture? Oh, here it is. Pull this up again. The Sasquatch graphics. So There you go. They showed an image of Sasquatch graphics. That's what it's going to look like on the hood. Looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the side of the Bronco, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So that's the Sasquatch graphic. If you get the Sasquatch, I think it's optional equipment on those. So there you go. There's that. Anyway, so yeah. So they kind of showed that off as well. That's a special option. It does require the Sasquatch package, but. And then also they mentioned that job 2 for the Bronco Sport is where they're going to start with a 1.5 liter, where they have the gas filter is going to be introduced into the Bronco Sport and not the Maverick. So we got some information on that because a lot of people were asking about that because I know they told us that, hey, why is the performance and the numbers come down from 250? It was like, what was it, 250 horsepower is what it's supposed to be for the EcoBoost on the Maverick. And it's come down to like, what's it say, 539 or something, or 538, somewhere around there. And they said, why is that? And then they told us it's because of a gas filter. Well, that's not being put on the Mavericks yet. Yeah. So did find that out. And they're saying that will be a job 3. So not only are they going to have a job 2, but they'll have a job 3 for the Maverick this summer. They said around June. And that's when they'll introduce the gas filter. And they believe, engineers are hopeful that it won't actually affect the numbers. But because they have to have something for the year, the whole model year, that's what's in there. So they said right now there is no gas filter being put on the 2.0 liter. So this memo for the Bronco Sport is for job 2, the gas filter is being put on the 1.5 liter engine. And then for job 3 is when they're going to introduce it on the 2.0 liter EcoBoost engine. So for the Badlands and the others. So anyway, and only for those California emission states. So anyway, yeah. Which on the Maverick, they don't feel like will be that many because they feel like most of the people in the California states are going to go hybrid. Yeah. Anyway, not everybody though. So there will be some, but anyway. So since I've went through that stuff, are there any questions about scheduling? Did you find any, Sarah?
No, not really.
They'll probably all drop them on that video. So, which might make things a little different here, but I guess if that's the way it goes, I can always play in this live stream if people would like to see it. So let us know what you think about that, about this change in the live stream. If you'd like to hear the scheduling information, I did kind of a quick overview for the most part, but yeah, so there you go. Okay, so none on that. Okay, well, let's keep it going. All right. So after that, we do have dealer news updates. So let's. All right. So dealer news updates. Ford Media dropped a couple things. One of them was how they finished the year out. So I could go through some of the numbers, but man, they finished out fourth quarter really well and finished out the year winning the F Series. Still remains America's best-selling truck for 48 straight years. Electrified vehicles had a record as well. It says they hit a record of 285,291 this year, up 38%, outselling GM, Stellantis, and electrified vehicles for the full year. Now, when we talk about electrified vehicles, that's hybrid, plug-in, and electric. So all three. So that's where Maverick has really been helpful for Ford, as well as the F-150 hybrid. So, and the hybrid trucks pulled the 1-2 punch. So in fourth quarter, the F-150 hybrid has the most sales, followed by the Maverick right behind them for the most hybrid truck sales. And let's see what else. Numbers here. I don't know if this is true, but they believe the Ford Power Promise program with a complimentary home charger and standard installation at no cost. They believe in the 24/7 advisor for electric vehicle support. They feel like that boosted their electric sales. I don't. I think it's because of the cheap lease. Let's be honest where it is. It's a dollars and cents for these people. They're on a budget, right? It's all about that. If they chose an electric vehicle, it's probably because the leases were cheap enough. We had so many people around here that bought a mach-e based solely on the fact that how much it was going to cost. And as their daily driver, they were like, oh, that's just crazy cheap. I can do that. we had a lot of people around town that was like, this could be my daily commuter for that much. No, yeah, I'll do that. And so I think that was it more than anything. Also, the Mustang Mach-E outsold the Mustang gas version for the year. That's something to take note of as well, which shows you that more people are willing to buy an EV right now than a muscle car.
Right?
Crazy that I'd
Yeah.
ever say that. But let's see what else. Some other numbers. They mentioned Lightning sales totaled 33,510. Is that for the year? I think that's in 24. Mustang Mach-E totaled 51,745. So more Mach-E's than Lightnings. And then E-Transit 12,610. And the fourth quarter was the best quarter for Mach-E sales since it started. So it was a record for them. Bronco also beat out Wrangler for sales, and I think in November they said. I don't think they have total for December yet, but anyway, and they think that they might have beat them for the quarter. I think they're waiting to see December numbers for all of them. Let's see what else. Explorer, number one selling third row SUV, 194,094 vehicles. Expeditions up 6%, 78,035. And then let's see here, Bronco family totaled 233,873 for the year. And that is up 38% between the two models sold. So that's pretty cool. So fourth quarter was 62,568 units for Bronco and Bronco Sport together. Super Duty, also number one big truck. So they increased from year over year. That's pretty cool to see because we know the struggle in getting those produced. And it says here that the Transit van is 46 consecutive years as the leader in commercial van sales. So America's number one selling van, 152,738 vans. Thank you to Amazon. Anyway, so there you go. There's that. So, and then yes, as we talked about the Ford Power Promise, that is going to continue into the first quarter of 2025. So we know it's going to extend at least to March 31st of 2025. So if you're getting an EV, a Mach-E, a Lightning, then you can get the free home charger and the standard installation paid for, or you can take the $1,000 credit instead, and that would lower your that price $1,000. So that is what you can do there. And so because we know we had somebody it's been on the chat, I believe, that like ordered a 25, and they were hoping it could come in before the end of the year because they wanted the free charger. Well, now they don't need to worry about it because as long as it comes in the first quarter, you should be able to do that. So let's see what else. Let's talk about EVs and the tax credit. Basically, there's not much for any of them. So here are the vehicles that will qualify for 2025 for the Ford lineup for tax credit. The 30D clean vehicle tax credit for 2025. The F-150 Lightning XLT, 23, 24, 25 model year. The Lightning Flash, 24, 25 model year. The Lariat, 23, 24, 25 model year, as long as it does not exceed $80,000. That is the only vehicles that qualify. So the Mach-E does not qualify. The F-150 Platinum does not qualify. The Lightning Pro does not qualify. The Escape plug-in does not qualify. And the E-Transit does not qualify. And then, of course, any Lightning XLT, Flash, or Lariat above $80,000 does not qualify anymore. So that is, there you go. There's that. And that is anybody that buys a vehicle in 2025 calendar year. So you have that. This is kind of a cool thing, and it's really just for dealers information than anything. And that is, we're going to talk about recalls next. And no, there is not a fix for the Maverick yet. But Ford did come out with this memo, and it said floor plan reimbursement for in-stock Maverick XL and XLT retail units impacted by the recall. So it says in summary, the recall 24S59, that's a stop sale for the Mavericks 22 to 24 model year XL and XLT vehicles, Unfortunately, we anticipate delays in final repair and parts availability. I don't like that memo either right there, because that tells me it's not coming real soon, or else they wouldn't have put this out here. Like we mentioned, first quarter can be January, February, or March. Hopefully it doesn't go into March, but because this memo came out this month, I really believe that recall probably will not be available in January. Just throwing that out there. It says, because of the anticipated lead time for parts availability, Ford will provide floor plan interest reimbursement for eligible in-stock Maverick XL and XLT retail units impacted by recall 24S59. Vehicles must have been in dealer stock on November 30th of 2024 to be eligible for reimbursement. Reimbursement will be provided in a lump sum for the month of December and will be incremental to any standard floor plan assistance payments previously received. Dealers will receive reimbursement so the reimbursement for December's floor plan. So basically, if a vehicle is sitting on a lot at the end of the month, those vehicles get charged on the floor plan. So interest and such like that. So they were saying basically they're going to go back and reimburse what was charged to them. Anything that was in stock on the 30th, that the dealers can get reimbursed that back for the month of December when they charged them. So that's good to see that Ford's try to take care of the dealers and everything on that and not have it on the floor plan. But yeah, so there you go. And then, I forgot to go over this, but the timeline for wholesale. So it looks like here that January 7th, January 10th OTDs. What's today? 7th. So at the end of this week, it's OTD selections, which does mean that dealers need to have those in for scheduling. So it looks like next week will probably be when they're going to start scheduling for January's allocations for those March production dates. So that should be happening.
The end of year numbers that you went through are only what Ford sold to dealers, correct? Not what dealers actually sold. There are many 24s, some 23s still on the lots that haven't sold. So when we sell a vehicle, we report that to Ford.
So it's what dealers have reported as being sold, not what Ford has reported sold to dealers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
from what I understand.
Many more.
Because that's why they push dealers to sell their inventory down, is because they don't get to count it until the dealer sells it. So the dealer reports it back to them.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we ended up being the #1 dealer in Kansas again this year. So second straight year, #1 dealer in Kansas. So pretty proud of that fact. As with a town of 50,000 or less, I think it's less than that now.
Yeah.
When we have Wichita with a town of 300,000 people, and Kansas City, Kansas side, and even Topeka, that are much bigger towns than us, double sized, and we're beating all those dealers. It's really pretty awesome. So
yeah.
We did look though.
We're at 46,000.
So we looked up. We had somebody looking some facts about. So our DMA, our basically our dealership market area is usually it figures 50 miles around your dealership, right? Is what they look at. So they actually looked at the other dealers that are within that 50-mile radius. And do you know how many Ford vehicles? Just guess. Okay, so we sold over 1,400 new Ford vehicles this year.
Okay.
How many of those do you think were sold within 50 miles of the dealership?
I want to say about 700.
360. So
okay.
10%.
My original thought was 400.
10% of our vehicles sold were sold within 50 miles of us. 10%. So 90% of our vehicles were sold outside of that market area. And I can tell you that about 30% are outside of the state of Kansas.
Yes.
30, maybe even higher now.
Yeah.
So when you think about of the 90, probably about 60. So the other 60% is within the state. So we get a lot of Western Kansas and other places around the state. But then also another 30% outside the state altogether.
Yeah.
So we sell more out of state than we do within our 50 miles.
Wichita is actually the largest city within the state at 396,000. Overland Park is a suburb of Kansas City. They have 197,000.
About Topeka.
Kansas City has 152,000. Topeka has 125,000. Olathe is at 147,000. And then Lawrence is at 96,000. There's Shawnee, Lenexa, Manhattan. All of those are above us. We're at 46,000.
Yeah. So, but
like
that's how we do it though. When you think about it, only 10% is within our 50 miles, because usually dealers like, well, that's your DMA, that's where you're selling to. And if, to be honest, I mean, we sell about 120 vehicles. What was it? Actually, it was 1,469 vehicles, I think. So when you divide that over 12 months, we're selling about 120 a month or something like that. So when you think about 120 a month, that is not what Ford says we should sell in our DMA.
Yeah.
360 is my
we are
what we should sell.
we are outselling metro dealers, and we are not we are considered a small town dealer.
Which is why those dealerships are not liking the fact that we won.
They are mad.
They are not happy. And to the point where I believe they're cheating, but that's fine.
Even if they are, we are still outselling them.
So one dealer, I'll just put this out there. I don't care. So one dealer actually sold 100 transits in the last day of the month of the year, the last day of the year. Sold 100 transits. Really? Are you kidding? Right? Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Brandon says, glad we can contribute.
Right?
Yeah. You guys here in the chat are members. You guys are a big part of that. We appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the recalls here real quick. There's a couple, and Maverick is not one of them. Sorry, folks, but let's get into these. All right, this first one is these are actually recalls from this since January 1st. They didn't do any recalls prior to that because they were closed up. But this in here is January 2nd, and this is an advance notice. When I say that's an advance notice, it means that they're giving the information to the dealers first so they can be ready. So this is an advance notice for safety recall 24S78, 2020 to 2022 model year Super Duties, and 2021 to 2022 model year medium truck. That's your 650 and 750s with the 7.7 liter diesel engines and the RP7 diesel high pressure fuel pump. So there's about 294,713 vehicles affected by this recall. This is in some of the affected vehicles that may be possible that aged biodiesel deposits accumulate in the high pressure fuel pump. This may result in extended cranking without starting while the vehicle is parked, or loss of motive power while driving. A loss of motive power increases the risk of a crash. They do say do not demonstrate or deliver. Now, of course, most dealerships won't have 2022 model years anymore, but so that shows the importance of it when I see that. And then it does say owners of record will be notified first class mail after repair instructions and parts ordering information have been provided to dealers. So again, this is kind of like the other Maverick recall. Well, we don't have that fixed yet, basically. All right, this next one is safety recall 24S70, another advance notice for supplement number 1. So the supplement and the update. So the initial recall came out November 13th on this as an advanced notice. They haven't had an official one out yet because they don't have the I don't think they have the fix yet, but this the reason they updated this one, this supplement number 1, is some vehicles were added to the affected population. So now it affects 2024 to 2025 F-150s, 24 Expeditions, and 24 Navigators with the engine cut plug inspection. And these are for, I believe, the 3.5 EcoBoost ones. It's 2,484 vehicles. And affected vehicles have a 3.5 liter GTDI engine that may have a misaligned cut plug located at the rear of the engine, which may result in a rapid oil leak. An oil leak in the presence of an ignition source, such as a hot engine or exhaust components, can increase the risk of a fire. In addition, the loss of oil can result in loss of motive power, increasing the risk of a crash. That's why it's a safety recall. Do not deliver or demonstrate, it says. If it has that. So dealers, anyway, says owners of record for the additional population of affected units will be notified via first class mail by the second week of February 2025. Owners for the affected units in the initial population of the vehicles were notified via first class mail the week of December 2nd. So there you go. The next one came out on January 3rd, and this in here is safety recall 24S46. And this is the official recall because the advance notice came out July 23rd. So the advance notice on this one, it took almost 6 months for the actual recall to be able to be done. Not to make anybody a little concerned on the Maverick, but you never know how long it's going to take. This in here has to do with 2023 to 2024 model year transit trail vehicles. This is the E-Pass ground cable replacement. 1,902 vehicles are affected by this. And on the affected vehicles, the electric power assist steering, the E-Pass, ground cable eyelets, substrate is exposed to environmental conditions and is susceptible to corrosion. This may result in an intermittent or complete loss of power to the E-Pass motor and power steering control module. An intermittent or complete loss of power to the E-Pass motor and the PSCM may result in a loss of power steering assist and may increase the risk of a crash. Man, I remember back in the day when power steering was a big thing. It was not fun to drive some of those cars, I'm telling you. They say owner letters are expected to be mailed the week of January 13th, 2025 or sooner. So, that one's got the recall. Transit trail. All right. This in here is safety recall 24S76, and this is also an advance notice. So on this, and then this happens to have to do with 23 to 24 model year F-150 Lightning vehicles, the upper control arm ball joint nut replacement. 11,923 vehicles are affected by this recall. In affected vehicles, the nut of the ball joint, which secures the front upper control arm to the knuckle assembly, may be loose or missing. Almost had this happen. This can result in separation of the front upper control arm from the front knuckle assembly. Separation of the front upper control arm from the knuckle assembly can result in a loss of directional control, increasing the risk of a crash. Owners of record will be notified via first-class mail after repair instructions and parts ordering information have been provided to dealers. So that is not available. Again, this is an advance notice, so they know it's a problem, and to let people know, do not demonstrate these. So it does say a complete dealer bulletin will be provided to dealers first quarter of 25 when parts ordering information and repair instructions become available. So that one's saying when that'll be available. All right, this in here came out on the 6th. This is the last one. Thank goodness. Safety recall 24S79. This is also an advance notice for 2020 to 2024 model year Escape and 21 to 24 model year Corsair plug-in hybrid vehicles for the battery energy control modular reprogram. 20,106 vehicles affected by this, and some of the affected vehicles may contain a manufacturing defect in one or more of the vehicle's high voltage battery cells, which may cause the cell to develop an internal short circuit. The internal battery short occurs at higher times in service as internal battery separator damage is induced over time through repeated cell charge and discharge cycles. In this condition, customers will experience a loss of motor power with a red "Stop Safely Now" message displayed on the instrument panel cluster. The loss of motor power increases the risk of a crash. Customers will continue to have 12-volt accessories, steering, and brake control. Customers may also experience battery terminal venting, potentially resulting in a vehicle fire, increasing the risk of injury. So in this in here, customers will be notified when parts and instructions are available, and there's no timeline in here on that one. It doesn't look like. So there you go. Do not demonstrate or deliver those vehicles either if you have a 24 Escape, which we don't. We sell them. All right. That's it.
All right.
Okay. Any questions before we're going to talk about this? Is it true?
All right.
Any questions?
Nope.
All right. Let's talk about this. I got an is it true? And so this has come up on some vehicles. Some people that are getting delivered their 2025 Ford Mavericks, which they've been hitting dealers, and people have been taking delivery of their Mavericks and everything. And some of the people are saying that the Job 2 trailer control features are being put on vehicles that were built in December and are arriving at dealers. And I say
Yeah.
no, and I say I don't believe they are. And they're like, yeah, I have proof of that. There's dealers out there that have them. You can see it here. Let me show it to you. Here's the website and this and that. Well, here's the thing, and it didn't even take me long to find this, but let me show you this here. So if you're on like a dealer website, like this in here, hold on a second. There you go. Make that a little bigger. So you can go to dealer websites and you can actually find, inventory if you're searching for it. Oh, I got to find this. Hold on. Here it is. So this in here. Oh, I just closed the stream. Are you still in there?
Yeah. All right, guys. Hold on. This is why it's helpful to have two of us in here.
Yes.
Because I can hold down the fort.
Are we there?
Yeah.
Did you put yours back off?
Huh?
Yeah, you can. We got it. Oh. How about that? I can hear the audio coming from places.
I don't know why. But it's weird. We have to figure that out. Mine's off. I'm not the only one to do it.
How's that?
You guys still hear us?
Can you guys hear us?
All right. Now an echo, though. Okay, wait a second, though.
Yeah, let's give it a couple seconds here.
Yeah. Fixed. No echo.
No echo. Okay, the question is though whether it's going to work when we go to do the Rambless. I think I got 2 sessions of it going here. That's the problem. Cause see how we have 2 versions of it.
Oh.
Hold on. Anyway, okay. So what you're seeing on the screen, this is if you're looking for a Maverick right now. Let's say the Lariat, right? Job 2s are supposed to get the trailer control features and everything. Can you guys see it? Everybody online?
Yeah, they're good.
It's working. Somebody said they're not online.
Steve's saying you lost us, but we haven't lost you. We're good. Everything's good.
Okay. So over here is a vehicle that you're seeing on the screen that has the there you go. That this is a Lariat, so it has it. So they're saying, hey, these vehicles are on dealer lots. Like this is one at Twin Motors Ford right now. And if you look at these images, it looks like it's got the the features, right? Trailer rate control features. And I've told people, I'm like, but you don't understand. Those aren't real photos.
Right.
Those aren't photos of the actual vehicle. Those are what the AI generated photos are. Some dealers can actually do AI generated photos. And so when you're looking at it, we're like, well, that's what it's going to be like. I said, no, it's not. That is what it's like right now. If you ordered one, that's what it should look like. But that vehicle probably won't have it. Now, I don't know. Yeah, view window sticker. So let's pull that up. And let's share that with everybody. So there's the window sticker of that vehicle. And that's a stock one, by the way. It's a blue window sticker. So if you try to zoom this in a little bit, you'll see one of the things you should see if it's a job 2, it'll say job 2 on here. Right in the optional equipment, it'll say job 2. This one does not say job 2. So this is a job 1. Now, one of the things else that you'll see is up here, some of these, we don't know if it'll be listing them or not, but it might list those features right up here in the functional area. And this one does not have it. So I told him, I said, well, he said, well, the salesperson, he said that it's going to have it. And that it has that. I says, okay, I understand that. But sometimes some of these, I like to give sales guys the benefit of the doubt, but there's a lot of salesmen out there that don't know their stuff. They don't know what things are what. And so when you look at some of these, and they might say that, say, okay, does this have the trailer features? And they see that it has the 4K tow package. Like, yeah, it's got them, and it's all functional. And it does it have that? Does it have that? Well, it'll have a trailer brake controller, and they might be confused on what you're saying is a pro backup assist and hitch assist. So they might think that backup camera with the little lines with the camera that shows you where your hitch is, they might think that's the hitch assist, and that's not, right? And that's definitely not the backup assist. So some of these sales guys haven't gone through the training. They don't know what they're talking about. So that is, so I'm just like, okay, I want to see photos, because the one person said he was going to the dealership where that salesperson said that they had it and it had those features on it. And I said, I was told by Ford that Job 2 full ramp up in production is going to be February 3rd. That in January, though, there'll be a MP1, which is a few will be built along with the Job 1s to make sure they're ready to go for full production in February. So there will be some in January. And I'll say that because somebody said, well, my window sticker says it's a Job 2. And I'm like, then, and his was supposed to be built like the last week of January. I said, then yours probably is going to be part of that MP1 and be one of the early Job 1s. And that is true. But some of these people, I'm like, I don't believe you. I want to see photos. So when you go to that dealership and they said that one has it on there, I want you to take pictures and I want you to post them. I want to see it, and the real photo of that. So
yep.
This looks really.
It's kind of like with that Maverick van that people are talking about. Until I see a non-AI generated photo, I'm not going to believe it. Until Ford comes out with the actual one, I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah. Good. Is it working? So we can use
no mics.
We can use that.
They're saying no mics, just lost audio.
How about now? Can they? I mean, like I said, there was a second where I muted when I tried to switch cameras so I could remove one.
Good.
And now it won't let me, so we're gonna have to stay. It's showing two cameras under mine, and it's driving me nuts. I don't like it. So okay. Anyways,
but yeah, like, and someone said that they saw that the Maverick van in person in Michigan with their own eyes. I don't know. It's unless you took a picture of it or we see an actual picture of it in the wild, I'm not going to believe that it's true, because it's so easy to go out there and make AI generated photos anymore that look real and look like it's exactly what it should be in real life.
Yeah.
Until we get confirmation from Ford, like a Ford bulletin to the dealers saying that this is coming out, I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah. So, all right. There we go. Got rid of that. So, yeah, there's that. So, all right. So
you just have to be careful with what you're seeing nowadays.
Right. Okay. So as long as we're good. The reason I wanted to switch to the other camera was this didn't seem like it was glitching a little bit, but all right. All right. So it looks like our audio is all good and everything. Let's talk about our topic tonight, right?
Yeah.
So Sarah has like we mentioned in the last 2 weeks ago, we mentioned different things we're going to be doing for this year. You've already seen a couple things from our channel, and that is that we started Built Wild Wednesday. Last Wednesday was our very first Built Wild Wednesday. Bronco, where we talked about Bronco off rodeo. We did also Super Duty Saturday last Saturday as well, and then we also we changed the lot walk to Thursday and everything, and then Sarah mentioned she's starting a podcast and her first podcast was last Thursday, right?
Yep.
So you can find that in video format, which we're going to show a couple clips of that as long as we
Mhm.
get everything working right. Um, I might actually test it before we listen to the whole thing, but we're going to see some of those clips from the live stream that you put
Yeah.
on my YouTube channel.
Mhm.
So you want to find that. It's at, you can post that in there if you want, at all_women_driven,
Mhm.
right? So it's all women driven. If you search for it, it may not come up, but if you put in the link that she has, or search it that way, you can find her channel. So you guys got to go and make sure you subscribe. You might think, okay, well, I'm not a woman. This is only, for women and that kind of stuff. But you know what? I watched this first one and it was very entertaining. You did a really good job.
Thank you.
And so guys can get something out of this too. So, and there's some good things that come out of this, because we can talk about not only that, women, breaking into automotive, into what some might have said years ago, a man's world or whatever, but this can go for anything, because,
Mhm.
it can go for other things you're trying to do. And that you can, you might think about it like, well, like Melissa, she was
Mhm.
not in automotive years ago, and now she's doing incredible things in automotive and for Ford and for the off-road community. And so, well, like for us, our channel, this is not where I thought this was gonna go.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I couldn't have told you 5 years ago that we'd be doing live streams, and that would be my favorite form of video to do. And we'd be on for 2 hours in an evening talking Ford stuff. Like, I can't talk for 2 hours about Ford stuff, but here we
Yeah.
are. So it's amazing. So I think it's a really good thing here, and I think it'll be fun and entertaining. So every 2 weeks, right? Every other Thursday
Yes.
is the
Every other
goal there.
Thursday.
Is to put that on the live stream on the YouTube channel, but also the audio format as a podcast is on Spotify.
Yep.
All women driven there as well.
Yes.
So, and Sarah's going to post the links for both the YouTube channel as well as the Spotify. Right? If you
Yes.
can
I'm
get
getting that.
both of those in there.
Yep.
So there's the YouTube, and it so there you go.
I got Spotify and YouTube in there.
There you go. I just see the YouTube right now, but
Yep.
oh, there it is. So there's there. So if you want to go there, and right now you have it on. I think that link is the wrong one. That's for creators. Take off the creator, and you probably and put www instead, and you probably will get there as well.
Well,
Yours says creator does. So anyway,
One second.
but yeah, so you can find it probably. Anyway, but
Oh, yep. Yeah. Here. Pretty sure that'll work now.
there you go. Yep. And you can just search all women driven, I think, and it'll probably pop up if you go to podcasts and shows. Yeah, you put all women driven in the search and just click on the podcast and shows, and it's the first thing that shows up right there. So just go over there, subscribe to the podcast as well. And when you subscribe to the podcast, and if you have your Spotify app up, it'll pop up and show that. We might actually move it and put another link on our our website, FordVidewGuyMedia.com as well. So you can get to it that way as well. But and I think over time, using podcast as your platform there, but should be able to maybe in the future get it to some other ones too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So there you go. There's that. So I'm going to try to play a couple clips from that. Anyway, how do you think?
Yeah.
First of all, with that, how do you think that first podcast went?
I think it went really well. I had a lot of fun. Melissa's amazing. She was a really good first pick for me, since she does do a lot of media and whatnot. So for me, that was a really good start off. I'm ready to keep going.
Yeah, I thought it went really good. Like I said, I actually listened to it, didn't watch it, but I listened to it. I actually played it off of YouTube, but listened while I was working, and you did really good. And so let's play. Let's see if I can get these clips to play. And go.
So what were you?
Hold on. So I'm hearing it. So hopefully you guys are too. You guys can let me know if you didn't hear it, if you don't hear it, but let's try this.
Driving the first few years.
I started in Jeeps, and that's where I started my off-roading. I mean, I lived in Indiana for a long time. So when I went to Indiana University, so I spent the first 30-something years of my life was in Indiana. And that's where I started liking Jeeps. I got my first Jeep when I was there. And I had this goal in my mind that I wanted to be able to go to these national parks or be able to, basically hiking was the goal. And I wanted to have a vehicle that could get me to these hiking trails. I also had this big dream. It's funny, I was thinking about this earlier. I had this big dream that I wanted to go in Death Valley to a place called the Racetrack. It's where this dry lake bed where the rocks move across the lake bed. I don't know if but they said the only way you could get there is with a 4-wheel drive vehicle. So I was like, well, I got to get a 4-wheel drive so I can drive out there and see that. And it started an obsession. My first Jeep, I never really did much with it. We had it in Indiana, got rid of it. I've done a lot of car trading in my life, and about a year and a half later, decided I did want a Jeep again. So I got another Jeep.
Okay.
And that's the one that we started actually modifying because I had a previous marriage. We moved out west from Indiana. I worked at a hospital in Tucson, Arizona, and that's where we started modifying the vehicle. Shortly after that, I got invited to to take a job in a marketing group with a medical device company, and that was in Draper, Utah. That got me very close to Moab, the Mecca. We were about 3 hours drive. So it was weekends now we could get to Moab. So we started getting involved with the Red Rock Four-Wheelers Jeep Club, Moab Friends for Wheeling Jeep Club, and started learning more about our vehicle. And then I started to get into what Jeep actually stands for, which a lot of people don't know. It stands for just empty every pocket, because you'll spend all the money on your Jeep if you're not careful.
Okay, so there's one of the clips. I have like 3 clips of that. I don't want to play I thought originally when I wasn't going to be here, I was going to play the whole podcast, in which we'll be able to do in the future if we're not going to live stream. Be able to do that, and you guys can still chat with each other. But anyway, so actually, Vols, that is correct. I noticed that on Melissa's end. And she was out, I think when this was recorded, they were in their Colorado home.
Yeah.
And they were in the middle of a storm where they had no internet. And they were using their Skylink to get connection. So I think it was on her end. It was just because you could tell Sarah was still able to move and it was fine. The buffering was on her end. But
yeah, she had a little bit of buffering. Yeah,
she did have a little bit. But when you listen to the podcast, you don't see, like if you listened but you didn't watch it, you don't see it. You don't see any of that. So anyway. But yeah, so that was really good, and I love Melissa. I'm glad it was your one of your first ones, and I know initially it was our media director here that you were going to interview, and that's going to be your next one. It looks like I think you're going to do that tomorrow, right?
Yes.
And that'll be fun because you guys will be across from each other here, and so she's going to do that one. But but Melissa has been interviewed a lot, so I think that was really smart of you to do someone that's been interviewed a lot. That you can tell she can carry a conversation.
Yeah, and she gave me great. Like I listened back through while I was editing, and I was able to go through, and I actually got really good ideas and really good questions that I didn't have in there before. That I've added to my list of questions to ask. So
and just like this channel, we didn't start with all the segments we have now. You know, originally when we did the video, it was about going through the scheduling, right? And then maybe a topic, and that was kind of all it was about, and just answering. Well, first it was just about answering questions, right? We went on and did the very first one on Maverick, answering questions, and then it's evolved, and we've added recalls. We've added when people have asked for different things. We were like, oh, that's a great idea. And we've added segments along, and you'll find that as you interview more people, go, oh, that would be actually a question that they brought up or something that I could start asking and start having this list of questions.
Yeah.
But I think he did a good job of asking the question and letting them talk and everything, and not. Yeah, so it's real. It's good. It's fun. I've gotten to where I like being able to almost.
That's what Kelly said last night. Was that I was really good at letting her talk, and finish her thought before going on to the next thing.
Yeah. which not all people can do. So that's really good. And that's one of the things I do like about All Train Nation is Dave does a pretty good job of interviewing people and everything, and then expanding on it. So, and which you're on last night. So okay, let's run another clip. Here, I gotta hold on first. I gotta remove this one. Oh, it won't let me remove it. Oh, let's see if it lets me do this. No, okay, well that's weird.
And
So
we
now
just keep adding them.
now we got figure out which is the right one.
So you've done off-roading. Was there automotive history in your background and family or anything? Just you wanted to start hiking, so you got off-road capable vehicles to get there?
Yeah, it's interesting that I never had any real automotive. In fact, one of the funny stories I tell about my father, who's passed away now, but when I was a girl, I remember that he accidentally, instead of motor oil, he put maple syrup in his Oldsmobile. That's the level of motorsports. Yes, and that ruins an engine. Yeah.
Yep.
It smelled good, but it had to do a whole engine replacement. My brother used to tinker around on a Mustang, a cool, I don't know, probably like a 1970, 71 Mustang. He had that, but other than that, nothing much going on in Indiana with motorsports. Everything I learned about motorsports happened as a hobbyist, because I felt as a woman starting into off-roading that I didn't want to be a damsel in distress all the time. If I had a problem, I didn't want to wring my hands and wait for a man to come tell me, what's wrong or how to. So every time something happened, and I was helpless, 100% helpless. I remember the first time I saw a drive shaft break on a trail, and I had no idea what it was. It wasn't my vehicle, but I watched somebody else's, and I said, I don't know what that is. I don't know why that happened. And so I found myself like getting right underneath there. And of course, in this kind of hobby, people are for the most part friendly. You do find the good old boys club where they think, and there's less of that now. There used to be a lot more of that. Many times I was the only woman driving on the trail. There was a few that would ride along, but not driving. So I would get underneath and say, what is this? And, how do you fix it? And, what makes it better? And so I constantly would do that. And once we had the opportunity to be that close to Moab, we actually invested in a condo in Moab. So we'd go down virtually every weekend to spend a week there during Easter Jeep Safari. We'd be out on the trails. And I wanted to learn how to lead trails. I wanted to be able to learn how to read obstacles. So that's kind of where I got into this. I'm a rock crawler. But I wanted to come forward also, and I always tried to remember that I was that person that knew nothing. I was the person who didn't know anything about driving off-road. I didn't know how to put my vehicle really in a four-wheel drive. I didn't know why people aired down. So I tried to say that no matter where I got in my life, I would always remember somebody is just coming into this. And if there's something I can help them learn or do, and that's why if you enjoyed my guiding, that's why I try to stay into that realm that everybody's learning and we just need to be calm and have a good time. And the vehicles are capable, just trust the vehicle. And I mean, the idea of off-roading as a hobbyist, obviously, is to have a blast and to have a good time and to love it and to become addicted to it. And I think some of the best ways to do that is to empower people, especially women, empower them to drive and empower them to get that confidence that their vehicle can do it. They just need to learn a few skills.
Yeah.
All right, so that's another good clip there that you had in there about how she kind of got started in 4x4 and which is pretty awesome. And she is really good on the trail, because that's the one thing that she, we noticed is that when she's out there, that she's very calm with people, and she's, really good at guiding people on the trail. And I always loved going. I mean, when we went with them at Moab, it was just us, and she's just really good. And she was teaching Barb how to, spot somebody and everything, which was really cool. So anyway, but
in the interview, she said the best way to learn how to spot is getting out and trying it yourself.
Well, and I really hadn't ever spotted until your mom and I went to Colorado, and there was a spot where she was driving, and I said, "Well, let me go out, let me get out and go, let me look at the trail." So I went out and looked at it, looked under, from that view and everything, and I actually guided her in a couple places, and so like for us, I think we found, at least right now, is that most of the time we're going to go out, I'll probably guide and let her drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I love Melissa, so they're fun. And we have a third clip if we want to watch it. See, this one I can remove. That one I can't. Probably because when I came in I was under.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we have one more clip if you guys are okay watching it. Looks like we haven't gotten a comment in a while, but I think everybody's still there. I hope. Are we still live? Maybe. Nobody's commented. Maybe we're not live. I don't have YouTube up.
We're live.
Yep. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We're still there. Nobody's chatting. Everybody's going to sleep on us. All right.
They're all going and subscribing.
Yes, go do that. That'll be your assignment for homework. Now one more clip here, and I think this is a little shorter, but one more clip, just for fun. And this isn't the whole one, so it's about 35 minutes, 37 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not very long, and I think most of hers will probably be around 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's a really good time for podcasts. We go a long time on here, but I'd say for most podcasts, under an hour is kind of a lot of their goals.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good.
So they said that they're fascinated. They're just watching. I feel like when they're chatty, that's either when we're talking and chatting with them, or you're doing the information. We're just going.
They're chatting and they're not listening. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Let's watch this last one here.
I'm stunned by. I still get stunned. I had the 25 Sasquatch this year in the Bad Sasquatch in the rally, and we had a little bit of.
I like this clip because it talks about the Bronco Sport.
The sand.
And the capability.
I always thought the Bronco Sport excels in sand, but boy, this year in that Sasquatch, we just went everywhere. I couldn't believe the size of some of the sand bowls that we were in a Bronco Sport. I mean, and we kind of tagged along with the Subaru that day. Gary Lando and Mountain Subi team. We went together and we were in these giant bowls kind of supporting each other. And like we would see people like in Forerunners and stuff like on the fringes, like afraid to come in where we were going. It's like, well, it's just keep on going.
Yeah.
And I was stunned. That's what made me love the Bronco Sport, actually, is that first year that they asked me to drive. I'd come from the Jeep world and I underestimated it, as most people probably do. I thought, well, Ford's footing the bill, so I'm just going to go have
Why not go for it?
best rally I can and see what happens. And I put that car in some places and I thought, well, here goes nothing. And it did it. I mean, we had wheel lifts. We had places that we'd gone down that after us, people were stacking rocks because they watched the size of our wheel lift and it scared them. But we made it, we didn't break.
Yeah.
And we made it through the rally. And that made me fall in love with the Bronco Sport. So I actually got more into that. It was quite a while before I actually was in the regular Bronco. I did a lot of off-roading in the Sport.
So pretty good there. And as you know, with her, like she mentioned there, that Bronco Sport, she says, is a really good like runner in the dirt and in the sand and everything, and so in the dunes and all that. And they do at the Rebel Rally, they were talking about that they went to, there was a certain hill, Oldsmobile Hill, I think it was what it's called,
I think so.
something like that, where normally 4x4s only go up that, and they went up it with the Bronco Sport, the 25 Bronco Sport Badlands Sasquatch, and they went up it, and they said we're not surprised that Melissa did that, but she's like, hey, I can do it, it's capable of it. So, and that shows you just how capable the Bronco Sport is. And I know the Badlands edition does have the advanced four-wheel drive, so you do have a little more capability in a way of traction and gearing and such. But even your big bends and such, that's the video that's going live tomorrow night for the Bronco. I talk about the Bronco Sport Black Diamond package, which I think is a very underestimated package. Last year it was kind of a joke, in my opinion, and I've mentioned that. But this year, that package is a great way to it's only a $2,500 package.
Yeah.
And it is a great way to take a big bin that you can buy at a pretty low price, add that package onto it, and go off-roading and not feel like you're going to beat it up. And it gives you better tires. It gives you a lot of other capabilities. It gives you some of the other fun off-road things that you would expect, like the grab handles and the auxiliary switches and some of those things, the all-weather mats on the back, the seat back maps and the tow package. That is the only way to get the tow package.
Right.
For a big bin as well, if you want a tow package. So anyway, that video's tomorrow. But anyway, great interview. And I kind of wanted to add that last clip because it was fun to see her take on the Bronco Sport. Because the Bronco Sport's pretty cool. So anyway, so any other last thoughts about your podcast? Everybody go find it on Spotify. Everybody go to YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed, and you have a Instagram account.
Yes, I do.
For it.
It's all
right?
Anywhere you want to go look for me, it's all women driven.
Yep. And so check her out on that and Threads and such. And you can find it. And I struggle on Instagram with posting video pictures and all that because it's difficult because our videos are in that format. They're not format for Instagram, but I have lately been doing the thumbnail.
Yeah.
As an image each week. So just to remind people that this is live, this video is live now, that kind of thing. But so just
have you seen my Instagram posts?
On all women driven?
Ready to record, ready to edit.
Yeah.
Posting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get those little peeps into it.
Yep. Speaking of Bronco Sport though, did you see who just bought one? Brandon. They just bought a Bronco Sport.
Yeah, I saw that.
An eruption green one. Looks pretty. I like it. So that's pretty awesome. So they'll have a lot of fun with that. I think they traded in. I don't know if they traded in the Maverick for that.
They did not.
So they still have the Maverick. So they're Maverick and Bronco Sport.
Her vehicle was wrecked
by the tornado.
By the tornado, and so they.
So they got that.
They got that instead.
Wow, they're having fun. They got an Hermosillo plant driveway.
Yeah.
Bronco Sport and Maverick both built the same plant. So there you go.
I think my next vehicle will be a Bronco Sport. Yeah. I truly do. I love the Maverick and I love the capability of the Maverick, but I'm ready for a Bronco.
Yeah, I don't know. They're each their own on that. I mean,
the Bronco Sport has just a tiny bit more room, and I know it's my daily driver, but
second row.
Yeah.
More than the
Maverick
does.
Yeah, a little bit.
I haven't tried to compare or think about that, but I think
I haven't put car seats since we've moved to both front facing. I haven't put car seats in a Maverick, and I haven't put car seats in a Bronco Sport. Maybe I should do what Will suggested. Take the car seats. He told me this morning, you need to take the car seats and go get one of those. I said, one of what? One of those things that goes in the snow. You mean a Bronco? Yes. You need to take the car seats and go get a Bronco. He's very specific about getting the car seats out of our car.
So,
you're taking us with you. You're getting a Bronco and you're putting our car seats in it. And we're going to go in the snow because he really wanted to go off-road in the snow.
Yeah. Yes. Bronco Sport Badlands in itself is off-road capable, to be honest. Yeah. Don't have to have the Sasquatch, but yeah.
Maybe I found a really good deal on a Heritage.
You should look at a used one.
A used Heritage.
We got some. I don't know if we have any Badlands on our used lot, but
I'm waiting for a peak blue.
Wow, you're gonna be waiting a while. Well, for one, a Heritage Edition peak blue, they didn't make that many of them.
I know.
So to find one.
Sorry, not peak blue. Heritage Bronco Sport Robin's Egg.
Oh, Robin's Egg. Okay, yeah. We should have got the pink one and just taken the wrap off because it was Robin's Egg blue underneath.
I know. But they had the extra cost for the wrap on there. Not gonna do that. I'll wait till they're a little bit older and one gets traded in. I'll be fine. Let's wait till my car gets to like 7 or like 10, 15 years old. Then we'll trade it or I'll get something new. No, Ragnarcon, you finally made it.
Wow. You're kind of late.
He's like, Mr. Punctual has arrived. He got here early the last couple times. Remember? So you had to make up for it by getting here.
Douglas, is Rebecca still at Alcione? I thought it was somewhere else because he showed a picture in front of it, but maybe that was
He went and saw it, I think.
at their dealership or in Tennessee. I thought
I
it was
don't
in
know.
Tennessee
I
somewhere.
think it's in Tennessee.
Anyway. But yeah.
I don't know, or maybe those are old pictures.
All right. Well, Randicon's here, so all right, it's time to go. So whether it be too old, just kidding.
I have some questions
Okay.
that were not specific to what we were talking about at that time.
Oh, here, let's do this.
All right. First, we have ordered my first car last week, a 25 Maverick. Thank you for being a reliable source of up-to-date information. It's helped me greatly. I just had to throw that in there.
Pretty awesome.
I wonder how many people learned how to use the remote start feature in the mobile application this week. My son loves the feature with his 21 Escape since his vehicle stays in an apartment lot. So the 2017 C-Max does not have that feature. But it's on my keys.
If the battery gets too low, then you can't do it. Like mine, the Bronco got to where I couldn't use the app for a long time. But we've been driving a lot, so we should be good to go now. But
what I do is as long as I make sure that my heater is on when I turn my car off the night before, then I'm usually really good. I get myself ready.
Does yours not have the where it's
the smart start
instead of last settings, but auto? Does it not have that?
It doesn't have that.
Oh, okay.
It's last settings. And I've checked. I've gone through settings. I've done everything.
Yep.
So then I get myself ready. I start to get the boys ready. Usually I get through one kid and then I start it.
Man, yawning.
So,
I got up pretty early.
Richview's headed to Florida in 2 days.
Yeah, I'd say he said it right after the first of the year. He was headed down to Florida.
Yep.
I'll go with you.
Is the Tim delivery experience still part of the member perks, even though he's not in sales? So if you're a member and you would like to order with us or purchase with us, we'll track your order for you on our live stream that we do each week. You can always call in and talk to myself. I usually answer all the phone calls for our team. So you can talk to me. We'll make sure that your salesman's following up with you and all of that. If you come in and pick up your vehicle, we'd certainly love to meet you. If you want to have a meal with us, as long as you make sure that we have time in our day or let us know that you're coming down so we can make time in our day, we would still love to do that as well. So,
yep. Usually, during the day, we get pretty busy. So usually when people do that, we'll do a dinner. We'll say, hey, you know what? Let's meet up for dinner like at 6 or something. And yeah, so that's part of the membership deal. Is that, of course, we have special merch for you and that kind of stuff. Some fun little other things to give you from us and pictures and that kind of stuff. And even if you're not a member, if you want to, hey, I want to see Tim, meet Tim. You're not a member, when you come in to get your vehicle, just tell your salesperson, hey, is Tim here or whatever, or let us know ahead of time you're coming.
Yep.
We'll make sure we're available for photos or anything else you want to do, or just to chat with you.
Your salesman will probably forget.
But we don't sell, so we won't be part of the actual finalizing of the deal and everything else. But after that, then
we'd love to look at the vehicle with you.
Yeah, we just chat with you and everything else. And if you're a member, you want to do dinner, we'll still do that. So
yeah,
we'll do that.
Looking at your inventory, do you still have the 25 F450 Platinum? It looks like a special order for someone, maybe. I'm pretty sure that's sold.
No, I think we have the 25 F450 Platinum.
Okay.
But so the customer that originally came in for did not take it. It was one of Mike Baird's customers. But I think Darren has a customer on it. so it might sell pretty soon, but
Mhm.
it's still for sale as of right now. So
If you would like it, put a deposit.
that
down.
was Henry's Super.
Henry's not in
Let's
here,
say,
but
hey,
he'd be
it's
flaring up
here.
right now. Yeah, RagnarCon, if you come down, we'll have dinner with you. We'll hang out with you for a minute, chat with you. You got to order the vehicle or purchase the vehicle with us and come take delivery of it here, though.
And if you're the moderator of the channel like Ridgeview, then you also get in our we'll do a drone shot with
Yeah.
you on a Sunday. And
We come in on our day off. I clean your vehicle for you. We get it in here and we do a drone shot. It's a whole production. The members can tell you that I provide a special service when we do the Maverick meetup or the member meetup in August. I cleaned every single one of their Mavericks. I think it was 10. I cleaned 10 Mavericks with some help. Brian helped us, but
hey, okay. So last year we were trying to meet up down in Florida.
yes,
I would like to try again this year.
I would too.
We have flight voucher that we need to use.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Was that through United?
I think so.
We can use some of that credit.
Yes.
I'm up for that. Let's start working on that. Bridget, you get down there, you get to talking to those people and down in Florida. Let's plan this. Let's get with Johnny and let's try to make it happen this time, but not on Easter weekend.
Yes.
On church demands me on Easter weekend.
Or the week before when there's something else like that was a whole couple weeks of things going on.
I will say March. I need a calendar. I gotta get a calendar. I'd say that that week in March we'll be down in Texas. I wouldn't be able to do it then.
Yeah.
But the 20th.
That's right. You were headed out 20th. To go get your camper. You were headed out to go get your camper
but they wanted to do it either the week before. They wanted to do it Easter weekend, I think.
Yeah.
So that didn't work. But no, and I think so March 20th through the 23rd, 19th through the 23rd, I will be busy. That's vacation for me. We're going down to Texas off-rodeo with one of our members who won that off-rodeo thing. So, yeah, we'll be doing the Texas off-rodeo, and we're going to hit the Fredericksburg Hill Country too as well. So I need to get that figured out. I got to get a campsite. We're going to take the camper down. That'll be the first camper weekend. So we're going to get the camper and take it down. And I've never had a camper winterize it. Had somebody winterize it for me. I don't know if there's something I need to do afterwards to de-winterize it, but probably just run water.
Something to ask.
Yep, we got to figure that out.
Can I go bug nails? Of course. I'll show you his office.
You come down he's up in the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Upper East Coast. Yeah, you come down. We'll make some things happen.
We'll have some fun.
Yeah. But yeah,
that might be the time that we go out to Niles' property and have some fun.
But maybe that weekend after the 21st of March, we could do a Florida trip.
Oh yeah.
Like the 28th to the 31st. Work on that, Ridgeview. Let's get that working. Let's get that in the works.
Yes.
Add that to the schedule.
All right. Yes, that's right. So if you are picking up a vehicle from us, fly into Wichita, and we have one of our drivers come and get you from the airport or hotel up there if you need to stay the night. Oh, so Niles said earlier you were talking about how the EVs are probably your best buy when you're purchasing used. Niles says, yeah, most EV owners aren't doing burnouts or going off-road in them.
I don't know. I cut off that video that I showed earlier, but right now it is in our yard covered in snow. When I knew this was coming, I parked in the yard, got the Bronco out for the driveway, and I'm like, we're ready for Bronco weekend.
We turned into Bronco
We did our own trail drives so we get around our town.
So Vols can actually tell you. He came and picked up. I got to McArthur at 7 a.m., spoke with service, Lebo in his building, and my salesperson around 8, just before Tim and Sarah came in, so I could finalize documentation with Lee Davis in finance. Which I will say, if any of you worked with Lee and want to work with him again, he's not working right now.
No.
So we do have some other wonderful
maybe
financiers.
retired. I don't know.
Huh? Oh, yeah, he might have retired. We aren't sure at this time. He doesn't want to be retired.
Now, if any of you worked with Derek Stidham as a salesperson,
He's now in finance.
he is now in finance. He has taken over that spot where Lee was at. So, and that's pretty awesome. You know, he was really saying that he really liked working with the Bronco people and performance people. I said, but you know, this is good for our customers because I think Derek Stidham is a really good guy and transparent and honest guy, and he'll be good because he'll get to work with a third of our customers because finance, those turns are usually divided in about third or fourths. Is it fourth now? That's good. Derek will take care of you in finance.
Scott, Ben, Derek, Alex.
Yep.
All 4 take turns.
So that'll be good. He'll get to put his hands on more people, and that'll be good for the dealership. So.
But yep, and if you didn't know, Lebo is my husband, and he does our ceramics and pro packs out in his own building out there. That's who he's talking about.
All right.
Lebo.
Any other questions in there?
Yes. When do you think the Strop Broncos are going to start pulling for build again? Last I had previously seen, they were only 120 in the queue to be built.
We don't know how many are scheduled for production at this point.
We have no idea.
We know that how many are unscheduled, right? And they actually have it scheduled for a while on the Broncos. But because they're not doing 2 3s, I can tell you this. Where's my report? Here. I do actually have how many. I have the breakdown of that. I don't always go over that anymore. But on the Bronco, of the 889 unscheduled, there's only 889 Broncos unscheduled. Uh-oh, our screen froze. There it goes. Only 889 Broncos are unscheduled, but of those, only 154 are Strop Broncos. So that is not very many. Now the production rate is 2% on those. So we haven't had any of ours scheduled yet. So, but some have scheduled, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's going to be a low number each month. So only 2% are going to be that number, right? So anyway, but likewise, only 39 unscheduled base trim levels. Only 39 unscheduled with a production rate of 9% on those. 66 Raptors unscheduled. Really, all of them are pretty low. I mean, Heritage is 5% take rate, and they have 225. The most unscheduled of any of them is Heritage Edition with 5%. So that's, which actually surprises me just a little bit. But there you go. But none of the numbers are out of realm with anything. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, especially if that report, sometimes that report's floating around on Bronco 6G, that it shows, oh, well, it looks like look those red negative numbers. I'm like, well, they're negative, but let's actually be real on what their production rate is, because with only 889 unscheduled retail orders, if they can produce, what do they make? How many Broncos do they make? Ragnacon probably knows. 70. Let's say it's 7,500. Right. Let me pull out my calculator. Let's say they make 7,500 Broncos a month, right? And let's do the math. 7,500 Broncos, and 2% are Strop Broncos. Right? That means in a month they make 150. They only have 150 unscheduled. Right? So let's look at the Heritage Edition at 7,500, right? And 5% is their build rate of those. That's 375. So every single one of those 225 can be scheduled. So even though you're looking at a red negative number, that the amount of retail orders is 25%. Well, that's from that 889. The capacity number is from what their capacity is for a month. So if they can build 7,500 Broncos in a month, right, then you're going off of a different number. 889, those percentages are based off the 889, whereas the capacity percentages are based off of 7,500. So if you look 7,500 and, like I said, in here, 27% can be billed as Outer Banks, right? That means they can build 2,025 Outer Banks, right? So we're looking at, a lot of people don't understand those. And so sometimes, I know Ragnacon probably educates people in Bronco 6G, and I should get in there more often, but That is something to always keep in mind. So if you ever see that on there and you're part of the Bronco community, Bronco 6G, and you see that, sometimes they'll put that capacity report in there and people are going, oh, well, look, strops aren't being built. Look at the capacity, 15%. That means there's more than what they can build for the year. No, that means that for this number that it looks like it's out of whack because the percentage is higher than what the capacity is. But that's their goal for the month, that they should be able to build those. And for that month, yes, they're over capacity. That's if they want to try to get all of them scheduled that month. Well, so yeah, will all the Strop Broncos be built and scheduled in the next month? No. And we got to remember this next month, they're only going to produce for 2 weeks. So if they only produce for 2 weeks and let's say 7,500 is a month, they're only going to make about 3,750 this year or this in month of March. So again, you got to take that in consideration. So again, just understanding what all those numbers mean. And sometimes when people post things in there like that and don't explain anything, that's what Ford doesn't like. Ford doesn't like dealers that have proprietary information like the commodity reports, putting those in there and not explaining them. Mm-hmm. Why is Ford not shut down their live stream? I mean, we talk about capacity, scheduling, and everything. I talk about a lot of things that we cover it says proprietary at the top of it, but I don't post it over there. Plus, I explain it. And Ford is watching this because I've actually gotten in trouble a couple times because they said, hey, where did you get that information? So they're watching the live stream. They're aware of what we're doing, and they don't have a problem because I'm explaining it and trying to help customers out. So, and they do like that because it's things they can't comment on. So anyway, so there you go.
All right. Hey, I ordered my MAV and it was built in mid-December. It was supposed to be delivered on Christmas, then on New Year's, and now it's pushed back to the 31st. Is this normal? So when you're looking at that tracking information, it's tentative. Those dates can be moved around. For example, one of our members, their original date was, the 7th through the 11th. So they could be anywhere from, delivered between the 7th and 11th, or it could be pushed out depending on what's going on, like weather, or, they just have too many vehicles to ship over. So, they're backlogged or whatnot. So getting pushed back is normal.
Now, he looks like he put that in about 40 minutes ago. I don't know if he's still in here, but here's the thing. If you were built in mid-December, depending on where you live, if you lived in Kansas, I'm thinking mid-January is a good timeline of when it should show up. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what Ford's showing you there, but if it was really, truly built in mid-December, unless you lived in Arizona, I don't see how you would have got it by the end of the year.
Right.
There's just no way. I mean, mid-December, let's say it's around the 15th, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get to about anywhere. Arizona, maybe a week if you're lucky.
Specsmeter said with his first Maverick, it was built the first week of December, but not shipped until the new year, but then only took a week to get to him.
Yeah, and like he's down, I think, like in Arizona or California, right? Yeah. And so yes, if you're in Arizona, California, lower
he's right outside of Tucson or Phoenix. Like I think he's between Phoenix and Tucson.
Yeah, then they do get it in a week. Now it goes on a train, gets taken off, and it's already it's in Arizona right there. And usually a week to 10 days is a good number for them because of where they're located. But normally, like for us, I figure a month.
Yeah.
Leaves a plant, figure a month. If you're in Arizona, you can maybe figure 2 weeks.
If you're in Michigan, maybe add a few weeks or a week.
Well, usually the train goes really fast and goes overnight.
Yeah.
Like we can get a train from the Michigan Assembly Plant. If something gets on a rail one day, usually within 24 hours, it's in Kansas City. So usually if that rail will go right to a certain place. So not ours though. Ours usually took 2 to 3 days from Mexico.
What ours, yeah.
Because ours will go up and we'll see it in Texas
Illinois.
one day.
Right, Texas, and then it goes up to Illinois and back down to Missouri and then over to Kansas City.
I will say from Mexico, ours probably do take close to a week before it gets taken off in Kansas City. But just depends. But anyway, yeah. All right.
Okay. Did you guys do the events we're doing in 2025 thing yet, or still to be determined? We did that in conjunction with our end of the year.
Yeah, it was our end of the year and talking about next year.
So if you watch the third hour of that,
it was a 3-hour live stream.
It's a 3-hour live stream. So we did the beginning stuff.
But I did timestamp that. So if you check out the live stream episode 174, live stream. If you go into, we actually have a playlist for all of our live streams. So if you go into that playlist and go
Oh, it's
down,
Ragnarcon.
Hmm?
Ragnarcon asked that.
and go to the playlist and go to the live streams and go to the episode 174. Well, the thumbnail will say 174, but it is our year in review. It's that one.
Yeah.
We kind of highlight a year in review.
It
and
didn't feel like 3 hours recording it.
Yeah.
It truly didn't.
We talked for an hour on what we did and what we're doing.
Yeah,
So,
an hour each.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Diesel, sorry if I missed it. Any new Super Duty production news or constraints? F450 still backlog? ?
So went over, like I said, that scheduling video is going to be its own video. It's already live. Went live at 6 p.m. tonight. The only thing they mentioned in Super Duty was that they're needing orders for XLT 6.7 diesel without the dual alternator. And right now, the only thing that's a capacity is dual alternators and the Lariat trim, actually, which I thought was really weird. So that's all they're showing right now as a constraint. And I can say they're doing pretty well. We've gotten 450s already. So we got a 450 Platinum on our lot. The customer didn't take that ordered it. So yeah, they're doing pretty good on Super Duty production right now.
I think it's because they didn't do so well at the beginning or at the end of the year or
Well,
all of 24.
Well, I wouldn't say that for the 23 model. Did you notice that though that 24, that year over year, they increased quite a bit of sales.
They did.
They really have ramped up production. So anyway, there you go. There's that.
All right. Those were all the questions I had. We're at 46 viewers.
All right. That's it, I guess. Don't have nothing else.
I was going to see what my subscriber count is.
Yeah, and things can change on that, like on our schedule, because like one of the things that I didn't put on our schedule that we were going to go to was like I'm going to go to NADA. So I just got a ticket for NADA. I got to figure out flights and when I'm going to head down there. I might look at that tonight and figure that out, but I'll probably be in New Orleans for my birthday. It's weird doing that.
So the podcast or my YouTube is now at 32 subscribers.
So yes, go subscribe to her channel. So YouTube tells me I watched 174. You probably started watching 174, but like I said, click on the timestamp for the review.
Yeah, Ragnarcon, I think you dipped out partway through that. And
we did a year in review, and then we talked about what we're doing for 25 after that. So, go to the timestamp for the On My Mind section, and then go about a half an hour to 45 minutes in before we get to what we're doing for 25. But we did talk about it at the end of that. And but yeah. So
yeah.
But anybody in the New Orleans area wants to beat up, it looks like to me, I don't know if I'm staying through until Saturday or not. I'm going to look at the sessions, but I know NADA has some sessions Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Can I go?
And so, yeah. So I don't know.
I want to see New Orleans.
I've never been there. And I guess this is like, the conference is down on Bourbon Street. I don't know. Anyway, sounds like fun. Anyway, so there's that. There you go.
I've always wanted to go to New Orleans. That's like Lebo's bucket list is to go to New York. Mine is New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all we have. So you have any other questions?
Nope. That was all.
Somebody's sitting in my chair.
I mean, I sat there last week.
All right. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, I think we'll call it a night.
What's mom saying?
Oh, your mom subscribed.
Yeah.
She doesn't watch YouTube, so.
No rants either.
No rants.
Yeah, you didn't rant today. Well, we kind of did with the.
Is it true a little bit?
Is it true a little bit?
Yeah. So.
But I don't have rants on my channel.
Hopefully that. Hopefully the.
We might as we go further along, and I'm talking to people about things.
10:15 here in East Coast. Well, time to watch the news. Here, let me report the news for you. It's cold and snowy here. Anyway. All right. Well, that's it.
All right.
Keep the kids off Bourbon Street at
Ooh.
night. Oh, that's not good. That probably needs. I shouldn't be on Bourbon Street at night. All right. Anyway. All right. Oh, there's nothing else. So, all right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us tonight, and hopefully you learned something from it. Again, if you're wanting that scheduling video, we posted it at 6 p.m. tonight, so go to that. You can, of course, there's a playlist for all the scheduling notes videos, but you can check that video out that went live earlier tonight off of our YouTube channel under the videos. So check that out, and
Yeah.
So, what else you got? Typing away over there.
Oh, nothing.
All right.
Snow that's not going away.
That's
My
a
son's
wrap
like,
or a ceramic.
my son's like, hey, let's go make a snowman. We're like, the snow isn't packable right now. It is nice and fluffy. You cannot pack it at all.
It was really nice for shoveling for the snowblower.
Yeah.
Because normally my snowblower, when we had that much snow, like it would, you'd go into it it went all the way up to the opening of the snowblower.
Yeah.
But it would just
Yeah,
spit it
'cause
right
it's
out.
nice and light and fluffy.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, but we gotta wait for it to, thicken up a little bit over the next few days as it
Yeah.
melts a little bit. And then I think the first night we didn't let him go out and play in it on Sunday, or maybe we let him go out.
He shoveled, didn't he?
He shoveled. Yeah, he helped shovel. But then he's like, I want to go play in the snow. We're like, it's okay. He's like, no, it's going to melt. I'm like, I promise, buddy, it's not going to melt overnight. It's not going to melt for the next week. I promise you are okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What's the horsepower of all-wheel drive Maverick hybrid versus EcoBoost?
We know the EcoBoost is 250. I don't know what the hybrid is. I can't remember.
I can't remember off the top
What's
of my head.
hold on, the technical guide? I think I have that. Here, I got the technical guide. Let's look at it. It's saying 191 horsepower and 155 pound-feet of torque. So much less. So, and actually it's saying 238 is the horsepower for this year on the EcoBoost, but I've been told that the gas filter is being delayed. It just has to be in the vehicles by 2026 calendar year.
Okay.
Or the model year, the 2026 model year. So that's why they want to kind of have it. So some of your Job 3 Mavericks will have the gas filter. And again, it only is in those states that require it. So there's that. But yeah, anyway. I didn't know this. I was looking at this mechanical stuff. It looks like the hybrid motors are built in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Yes.
But the EcoBoost engine's made in Cleveland, Ohio, and Valencia, Spain. Which I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Anyway, but yeah.
I knew about Chihuahua.
So, but they do think right now, like I said, they have to use those numbers because even if they make one with that gas filter, it's a small number. Or even if it's a small number, just the ones that go to those states, they have to have that gas filter on there. They have to show those numbers, and instead of showing two, they can't show two different number of horsepower based on whether or not it's a filter or not. So they're always going to show you the one that's the lowest. So for those that don't live in a CARB state, right, California emission state, you're not going to see the 238. You're going to see the 250 because it won't have the gas filter. So that is the difference in that. And it's usually where you're from. So like if we order one, like on the Bronco Sport, it's actually saying that, hey, if you're going to place order a vehicle for a customer placed order, and you know that it's going to be registered in one of those states, then you should add this code to the vehicle so it has the filter on it, basically, to help them out and pass emissions test for that state. So that's how that works. So if you were to find a stock one, like for us, since we're in Kansas and we're not, we wouldn't have the gas filter because we're not a CARB state.
Yeah.
So if you're coming from a CARB state and you buy one of our stock Mavericks, you may have to do something to make that pass emissions in your state. So that's always
Mhm.
something to think about and consider. So if you're wanting to get one from us, you might want to order one so it has what it needs to, or find one in that state. But anyway, so there you go. There's the info on that. So, all right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
240 horsepower now, Tim. Okay, so yeah, I got that confirmation from the brand manager this week that it actually is. Right now, it's showing 238 horsepower. That's what the technical guide is going to say, because they're required, because by job 3 for this model year, they're going to have the gas filter on the very ones. But job 1, if it's a job 1 and it's a job 2, it will not have the gas filter. So you can, even though it might say it's 238 horsepower, it'll be 250 because it won't have the gas filter on any of them until job 3.
Okay. Do we know what the weight of the hybrid versus EcoBoost is?
I don't know. Curb weight.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Let me look. I don't know if this has should have the curb weight. That's what they call that. Wow, there's a lot of numbers in here, but I don't see it. I don't know. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. I'm just trying to scroll through and find it. I don't know. I don't see it here. Usually it'll have it. It'll be on the vehicle, but I don't know, because also that curb weight is affected by things you add equipment wise. So you might not always think about it. Like an XL is going to be lighter than like a Lariat, because the Lariat's going to have more equipment in it. So that's why if you look at, like, trucks, it's always, they always say it's, your payload and your gross vehicle weight is a certain number, but some of that is what's included in the vehicle in the way of equipment. So Lariats, Platinums will have more equipment. All those other things like massaging seats and all that all those features end up weighing more. So you lose some payload and some of that. But anyway, so each one will be individual on their own. You can't say what the weight is going to be necessarily, but you have to look at the door label and it should be on there. So anyway. All right. I think that's all I have. But
okay.
There's that.
All right. We are almost at 9:30. We're at 9:23. So
it's almost bedtime. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I think that's all we have. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, hope you guys have a good week and stay positive. Be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourself.
And we'll see you later.